This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Wrestling, and this is my review for the Elimination Chamber on February 19th from Saudi Arabia. And man, there's so much to talk about. This premium live event, it started off so cool. Of course, there was a lot of anticipation regarding Cody Rhodes and the speculation that he is going to WWE and he would be debuting here. There was a picture on Reddit where supposedly Cody Rhodes took a picture with someone in Poland, and come to find out it was from another event in 2020. A whole bunch of stuff. So everybody was still anticipating Cody Rhodes, and they kind of hinted towards it, but then that rumor was kind of shot down with the news of a social media influencer / boxer that might be joining the ranks. But yeah, this event was it fit what happened before at Crown Jewel as far as the ending. Most of these events, like lately, they've had pretty strong, shows up until the end and the main event, and then the main event just goes into this weird multiverse wrestling dimension or something like that. The first match was The Miz and Rey Mysterio. That was the kickoff show. Rey Mysterio won by distraction. The Miz, started beating up Rey Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio comes in. The Mysterios attack him. They both do the 619. The crowd, that's the thing about this show. The crowd was really into it. You did not hear any of these noises pumped into the crowd or anything like that. It was an authentic enthusiasm from the crowd, which is very refreshing considering what we hear over here in the States, which is pumped in crowd noises, and a lot of fans are just sitting there. All those people there in attendance, they were into it. So from there, the first match of the Elimination Chamber premium live event, not pay-per-view, was Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. And of course, this match early on, Goldberg wound up getting 2 spears, and the way he got the spears, you're just like, oh crap, are they literally going to put the belt on Goldberg? Oh my God, Goldberg is going to win the title. Goldberg is going to win the title, and it's just like, oh my God. And no, that did not happen. Goldberg attempted to do the jackhammer after his last spear that he performed on, or did to Roman Reigns. Tried to lift him up. Roman Reigns countered it, put him in the guillotine chokehold, and that was it. Roman Reigns choked out Goldberg. You could say Roman Reigns Goldberg. This match, it was relatively quick. It was a typical Goldberg match. It was kind of similar to the match that he had with Bobby Lashley in Crown Jewel, except the roles were reversed. It is Goldberg's last WWE match on his current WWE contract. He might be renewing another deal. It's WWE. They're going to do whatever they want to do. From there, then you had the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And I honestly have to say that this match was probably the match of the card, the whole show. It was a match of the night. This was a really cool Elimination Chamber match. Some spots went really quickly. But other than that, these women really performed well. They did come out in... it was different attire than what they normally would come out to in Saudi Arabia. Usually they have long sleeve shirts and, their gear and everything. But they actually had tailor-made costumes where it was from the neck down, everything was covered and everything. It was like, oh wow, they kind of looked like super villains from villains and heroes from a science fiction movie. That's what it looked like, the whole thing. But it was a really cool match. The first person to get eliminated was Nikki Ash. The second person was Doudrop. The third person was Liv Morgan. And your final 3 were Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss. And it almost seemed like Alexa Bliss was going to win this match. It was like, she's going to go to WrestleMania. She's going to go to WrestleMania and face Becky Lynch. Wow, this is going to happen. And Rhea Ripley got eliminated. And it was a good back and forth between Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. They did a really good job of convincing you, you didn't know who was going to win. Like, oh man, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? And of course, at the end, you had Bianca Belair come out victorious. And from this point on of the show, it's like, okay, Bianca Belair is going to face the Raw Women's Champion. All right, cool. So it's kind of hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't change anything. Hopefully, it's a redemption story of Bianca Belair getting her redemption from the title loss that she suffered at SummerSlam, which was 26 seconds from Becky Lynch. So if that's the case, okay, that's cool. It's unfortunate that they went this whole route to do something that they could have avoided back in SummerSlam, but it is what it is. From there, you had the Charlotte and Sonya Deville match versus Ronda Rousey and Naomi. This was another really dope match. I do got to say, this whole pay-per-view, most of the solid matches were from the women. They had really solid matches. But yeah, this Charlotte, Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey and Naomi match, this was really cool. Ronda Rousey came out to her Olympic, I believe it's jiu-jitsu or judo. Yeah, I think it was her judo. Forgive me, folks. Don't forgive me. She came out in her Olympic garment, everything. She had her wardrobe. She had her arm tied around her back. And this is, man, Ronda Rousey's pretty dope. She did a really good job. She was in the ring for most of the match. And it was so cool how she was selling having her arm tied around her back. Naomi came in, did the one, just looked phenomenal. This was a really good showcase for Naomi, considering that they've pretty much had her on the back seat for most of the year, just not doing anything. And it's good for her to get, her shine and everything. And yeah, Ronda Rousey and Naomi won via tap out. So it was a solid show. Charlotte looked good. All four of these women did a really good job. Again, it was a solid match. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It was just a nice balance. A nice balance. And usually when you have a match, a wrestling match, whether it's a men's match or a women's match, when there's a nice balance, 9 chances out of 10, it's going to be a good match. You're going to be like, man, it's going to be well received very well because there's a nice balance and a nice flow. Just everything just lines up. This was a really solid match. From then, you had the Riddick Moss, Madcat Moss, and Drew McIntyre match. There is a point in this match, and for those of you who are watching, you've probably seen it on Twitter. You might see it on Instagram and Facebook. There is a point in the match where Drew McIntyre attempts to do the Alabama Slam. And Riddick Moss, I don't know why I keep saying Riddick Moss. I think that's his original name. Madcat Moss, he comes over his shoulder and his head, he literally lands on his head. He doesn't land on his back. He lands on his head. And the way he landed, it's like, ooh, whoa. Kudos to Baron Corbin to getting him out the ring, to get him a break. But I wish they would have ended the match quicker. They continued, had some shenanigans outside, threw him through the barricade. But yeah, once that spot happened, me personally, I was like, they need to end this match quickly because the longer he's taking bumps on his back, he probably may have had a little damage, but the more you continuously hit that part of the body and the back and everything, you run the risk of worsening whatever damage may have occurred. Granted, there may not be any damage when it first occurred, but you keep landing and moving and stuff like that. You just can't take any chances. And hopefully he's okay, and hopefully they do the proper test and just have him. Hopefully he's well, because that did not look good, and it looked. Oh man, I would say he landed on his head similar to how Ricky Starks landed on his head when he had the belly-to-belly suplex from Hangman Page that kept Ricky Starks out for a while. Like, that's how he landed, and man, that did not look good. This match, well, you had Drew McIntyre pull out his sword and try to stab people and everything, which is like, it's a weird message you're trying to send in an event that's held in Saudi Arabia. It's very weird. It's a weird message, considering the message that you're trying to send through this global broadcast in Saudi Arabia. It's very interesting. From there, you get a backstage segment with The Miz, and he's basically saying, I'm tired of the Mysterios having an advantage. You know what? I'm going to even things up. And you know what? I'm going to get someone who's an A-lister, who's handsome like myself. I'm going to make a phone call. And of course, when that happens, like, oh my God, are they going to bring in Cody Rhodes like this? Like, really? They're going to bring in Cody Rhodes like this? What the? Are you serious? This is insane. What? This makes no sense. Like, oh my God. And of course, it was reported via PW Insider. I believe so, but it is out there that the person that they're bringing in for The Miz is going to be none other than Logan Paul. So, fortunately, for some people, it's not Cody Rhodes. It's possibly Logan Paul. Of course, plans can change. But yeah, that's what it seems like it's going to be. From there, we had the Lita Becky Lynch match. Lita still has it. I recommend, if you can watch this match somehow, or if you, again, I understand the circumstances surrounding this event. Most people didn't watch this in protest. Totally understand. But if you are curious, man, how this match go, if you could find it, watch this match. Lita still has it. Her and Becky Lynch had tremendous chemistry. There was a lot of fluidity. She looked good, but unfortunately, Becky Lynch won. But it was a really solid match. Great back and forth. Lita's moonsaults, she did it multiple times. Looked good. It didn't look to have as much spring as it did back in the day. But of course, you're talking about 20 years ago and things change. You know, you can do it, but it ain't to the level that you used to do it. But no, she did a really good job. Kudos to Lita. Kudos to Becky Lynch. They did a really good match. Again, like I said, all these women's matches on this show were really good. Really good. They were actually, I want to say, a lot better than the men's matches. If the men's matches were just as good as the women's matches, this would be a phenomenal show. But unfortunately, it is the WWE. There is an absence of perfection and completion in the WWE when you come to their storytelling, which is unfortunate. So from there, they had the video package of The Undertaker being inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was basically similar one that they showed on SmackDown, except they didn't have I didn't see any Kid Rock references or anything like that. It was more Metallica and everything, but it was again, it's The Undertaker, man. You got close to 30 years of history there. That's, oh man, it brings back memories, man. Then you had the Usos versus the Viking Raiders, which somehow didn't happen. Like, the Usos attacked them, and then like, well, they can't compete. That was it. Then the main event was the men's Elimination Chamber match. This match started off with a lot of anticipation, a lot of interest, a lot of like excitement. Like, okay, how is this going to play out? And of course, that's with most wrestling fans who were watching. It's like, man, how is this going to play out? This is going to be real interesting. Man, I want to see how this works out. So, give me 1 second. Seth, there we go. So, yeah, this match was very interesting. Right off the bat, it just, I don't know, maybe it just felt weird. You had everybody enter. So Lashley entered, then AJ Styles, then Riddle, then Austin Theory, then Seth Rollins, then Lesnar. Just like day one, Lesnar comes in last, so gotta know who's gonna win this thing. And the way this match wound up finishing was very, 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 very clunky. This, in WWE's eyes, and it made sense to them. But outside, for me personally, this, I don't know what to make of it. It was like, okay, they're gonna do whatever they want. I don't know. I can't even say that it made no sense because I don't even know what was the logic behind it. Like, it just was it was just weird. So Lashley was in a pod. You had Seth, and you had Austin Theory starting off. Then you had Riddle. Then you had Styles. Now, somewhere in between there, I don't know how it happened, but Seth Rollins wanted to do the buckle bomb, and he wound up chucking, I believe it was Austin Theory, through the pod, which somehow knocked out Bobby Lashley. Let me phrase that. It hurt Bobby Lashley, where not only the referee, but 3 backstage officials and 2 referees had to walk Bobby Lashley back to the locker room. And once he got back there, it was announced on commentary that Bobby Lashley will not be returning. He's in concussion protocol. And the winner of the Elimination Chamber will be the WWE Champion. And by this time, when they announced this, Brock Lesnar did not wait for his chamber to open. He kicked it down and pinned everybody. That's basically it. Like, for those of you who are watching my reviews and have watched my reviews, like, that was basically the chamber match. Once they announced that Bobby Lashley couldn't return, Lesnar just pinned everybody. That was it. The last person he pinned was Austin Theory, where Austin Theory tried to climb out the chamber. Lesnar caught up to him. They wound up fighting on top of a pod. And Brock Lesnar did an F5 on top of one of the pods. That was it. It made no... All that... Now, granted, I've seen a lot of people say, well, it's protecting Bobby Lashley, but, like... Okay, it's protecting him, but, like... Like, there's no other pay-per-view... Well, there might be another premium live event. Hopefully not. But, like... After this, they already announced it's Lesnar and Roman Reigns title for title. So, I don't know if it's going to be unifying both titles or the champion is going to be, or whoever wins the match is going to be champions for both Raw and SmackDown. Where it's not unified, it's just they're both champions for Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, this was... I don't know. It's WWE. That was a weird way to get to Lesnar pinning or winning the WWE Championship. Like, it's weird. And the way it was executed, like, okay, you protect Bobby Lashley, but so he's going to fight Lesnar to get his title back. You know, here's my question. So with Lesnar winning this championship via Bobby Lashley not returning because of concussion protocol, are they going to treat Bobby Lashley the same way that they did Big E, where, oh, well, he's done. You know, he's done. Because Bobby Lashley got his rematch. Big E still hasn't gotten his rematch. You know, are they going to treat Bobby Lashley like Big E and just, all right, it's about Roman and Brock Lesnar. And that's it. Because it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's weird. Really weird. especially with the the excitement and just the speculation that Cody Rhodes could be going to WWE and just I don't know, man. This is weird, man. This is very weird, but it's WWE. I think a lot of us can say in the last 10, 15 years we've grown accustomed to WWE being weird. Just how it is nowadays. So that was the Elimination Chamber from Saudi Arabia. That was it. That ending, like, it's still like that was it. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe to House of Wrestling on YouTube. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Follow me, Dedrian Colon, at Dedrian180 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you guys for watching this review. I will be dropping a review for Impact Wrestling's No Surrender. But yeah, this was a very weird WWE Premium Live event, man. Very weird. Until next time, stop fighting over wrestling.